Hello everybody, E here. Welcome back to a series you didn't know was a series. This is Audible Backlogs, where I am trying to listen to all 300 audiobooks I have somehow accumulated over many years of having a subscription over there. Also, all of the stuff that I used to get, just free codes for books that I would then not use on the books I was supposed to. They have since changed that. I'll describe that more some other time. But it is spooky season, so I decided I would reread yet another book that I have read in text, which is Beloved by Toni Morrison. I had the audiobook also, and yeah, I want to talk about this one because Toni Morrison herself narrates the audiobook. This is more of a review, not really of the story or the audiobook or really anything, just me talking about my experience with the audiobook. Too long didn't read. I mean, if that's the case, why are you here? But anyways, this is a fantastic book, absolutely perfect. There really is no reviewing Toni Morrison. It's kind of like reviewing perfection. So, well, no, it is like reviewing perfection. She's probably the best literary fiction commercial author. And what I mean by commercial is, while she was literary fiction, she was commercial enough to have sold well. I hope I'm making sense there, but Toni Morrison was perfect. She passed away a few years ago. It's unfortunate. We lost a truly mesmerizing talent when we lost her. I think Jesmyn Ward is very close. She's just as lyrical, just as poetic. She works with the same themes, more along the lines of like mixed race, because I believe Jesmyn Ward is mixed, where Toni Morrison was more writing about, slave times and black history, so on and so forth. The audiobook, I'm not going to say I don't recommend it, but if you're the type of person that gets hung up on not stammering, but pauses, or it's not a very well produced audiobook. And it's because sometimes it feels like Morrison either flubs something or gets stuck on a certain turn of phrase. At first I thought it was like poetic, she was reading it poetically, but there are several times where she just like comes to a stop and then starts over again. And to me, it sounded like mistakes. I am used to the way poets read their stuff, or their poetry. I'm used to that, but with this one, it was kind of, I don't know, it seemed more like mistakes, because there was no flow, there was no rhythm. And if that was the point, then fine. I missed the point entirely. But there were several times when she would be reading, and let's see if I can try and do an example. It's like, the sheriff wanted to back out too. That's the kind of pause. It was like middle of the sentence, but not in like a cadence kind of way. It was like, the sheriff wanted to back out too. It wasn't like that. It was like, the sheriff wanted to back out too. I hope I'm making sense. I don't know what else. There was no poetic rhythm to it. It's just she would stop sometimes. This book, however, is absolutely flawless, faultless, absolute perfection. I'm going to say absolute at least another dozen times. So for those of you out there that want to play the absolute drinking game, every time I say absolute or absolutely, take a shot. And you're drunk. Okay. Absolute perfection. I cannot find anything wrong with this book. I read this numerous years ago, probably over a decade ago. I have yet to watch the movie because the book troubles me so deeply. And I mean that in the best way possible. It's very affecting fiction. Absolutely affecting fiction. And I don't know if I can handle watching it. Especially not if the shed scene is in the movie. I can't watch that. I'm sorry. Even though that is, Stampede also is one of my favorite characters of all time. If I were to do a list right now of my top 5 fictional characters, Stampede would be number 3, easily number 3. And the reason for that is because, first off, the name has so many connotations. If you know why his name is Stampede, if you know why that's even culturally a thing at the time. It's both disturbing, it's upsetting. It's also just a really cool name. I know I probably shouldn't be saying that because of the connotations of where it comes from, but he stands out. And also, he's the one who helps during the shed scene. And I always remember that line about, at the middle of the arc, or whatever that, well, I won't remember it to quote it, but there was a wonderful line when Stampede goes into the shed and catches in the middle of the parabolic arc, I think. Anyways, it's a wonderful line, and it's so simple, but yet so striking. As soon as you hear it, you know exactly what has happened, and it's just one sentence. Most authors, and damn near any other author, would have spent 3 to 5 sentences describing that one action. Not Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison gets in, gets dirty, and gets out. It is very simple, but it's deceptively simple. Absolutely deceptively simple. I'm sorry. But it is deceptively simple. It's one of those things where you can feel like when you look at a sculpture and how perfect it is, and you can feel, you look in, you can see how much work went into it. And that's one of those sentences for me that, and who knows, it might have been a one-off for her, because she is that good. And I'm not going to say was, she is that good, damn it. Come back to us, Morrison, please. Anyways, that scene in the shed is very affecting. I don't know how else to put it. I'm a far better writer than I'm a speaker. This book means a lot to me. It was one of the first books me and my wife read together. It was one of those situations where I was just starting to learn about actual history instead of the whitewashed history that that everybody else learns here in Alabama. Now, while I'm not from Alabama, I did get the majority of my education, here, because it was my teenage years when you're not learning arithmetic and grammar and things like that. You're learning stuff that you're supposed to take out with you into the real world. And I've been fighting that education ever since I dropped out of school. Yes, I am a high school dropout. Yes, I have my GED. None of that stuff matters. None of it. But this was one of those books that when I came across it, I was like, this happened. This is something I need to look into. This is something that I need to face. It's something I need to look at. And ever since then, I have read numerous books by numerous authors that have told of the situation not differently, but from different perspectives. We got, James Baldwin, we have Jesmond Ward, we have Colson Whitehead, we have Toni Morrison, all these tremendous authors, and then you have the surrealist, the fabulist like P. Djeli Clark. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry if I got it wrong. I haven't said his name in a while. With books like Ring Shout. There's a lot of important literature out there, whether it be fictionalized, whether it be magical realism, whether it be horror, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of great literature out there that deals with the black experience, and if you're interested in those books, then let me know, because sometimes certain face can have a different could persuade someone who looks like this person, if that makes sense. And sometimes people that look like me do not listen to people who don't look like them. So if you're interested in those things, if you're interested in expanding your horizons, I'm here for you. Comment down there in the doobly-doo and I'll pop in. I'll help you out. I got a reading list from here to Tucson. That's a long way. You don't know where I am, but it's like 2,000 miles. Okay? Alright, down there in the doobly-doo. But yeah, this audiobook, I wouldn't really recommend it. It's kind of unfortunate that I wouldn't, but I love this book. Book is 5 stars. Audiobook 3.5, something like that. And I know this ain't much of a review, but you all don't watch me because of my reviews, my opinions, really. You just watch me to hear me talk. It took me a long time to figure out that that's why the majority of you watch me, is just to hear me talk. So you heard me talk for 10 minutes. Yeah, good on you. Anyways, I do have a new favorite author as far as I've already reviewed it. I believe the review's already up, but I had to trade in some books to get these. I've already read and reviewed this one. I think it's the first review for spooky season. I'm not sure. But also, Beyond the Door of No Return is his first or second novel. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this is the second one, so this is probably the first. I believe it's the second one translated, though. It gets confusing, just like with Mariana Enriquez, trying to figure out the chronology of her stuff. But anyways, yeah, I got a new favorite author, David Diop. You go check him out. But anyways, so probably with this one, with Beloved, definitely read it, because the audiobook is great at times. Like the shed scene and some certain other scenes are amazing. But I would much rather people read it than would listen to it. Unless you want the double experience, then do both. Listen to it while you read it. That could be cool too. I mean, you can get a discount on the audiobook if you buy the ebook, but most people that watch me don't do okay, whatever. Anyways, that's all I gotta say. Are you having a good spooky season? If you don't want to talk about black culture down there in the doobly-doo, you can talk about Halloween stuff, and I'll be down there too. I'm gonna be hanging out with y'all all month long. The shorts are going strong, hopefully going strong over there on the short side of things. But here we're talking about spooky season. We're talking about the books. This is not 31 Days of Halloween. That's over there on the shorts. Go check those out. But until next time, I have been E. You've been you. This has been another book review. Kind of. Not really. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.